Good morning. Good morning. 9:54, the 18th of April, and today's going to be a little different than the last messages, um, because I feel like I've been creating the videos for a while now, maybe 2-3 weeks, and I feel like it's time to take it to the next level as far as the way that I am communicating with you guys and um, organizing the messages. So I'm just going to continue to create the videos, and I'm just going to, over maybe a 2 or 3 day period, and I'm going to make one cumulative video. Um, the messages for today um, are about clearing blocks of fear and negativity, to just allow the flow. And I have some music going today. I hope it's really not too loud. I want to do a test run. Um, um, so the messages are basically, for the last few days, the energies have been intense. Bringing up frustration, anger, um, uh, triggering, the areas that we still are still holding on to some, uh, you know, some fractals of, hurt or pain or um, rejection or you know, feelings of unworthiness, whatever. The message is just allow the flow. You know, there's a lot of resistance, um, because we don't want to be in that energy any longer. We don't want to be in that presence any longer. That's already known. We are ready to move forward, and the resistance comes when we start to feel those negative feelings, which they're not really negative feelings if they allow us growth. You know what I'm saying? They're not really negative at all. They're very positive feelings that we that are necessary for us to move forward and to expand and blossom within ourselves. Um, so the resistance comes when, again, we start to open up those areas um, that we stored our pain in, and of course, no one wants to feel pain. No one wants to feel hurt, and so we close off and we become less receptive um, to the positive, flow coming into us. We become less receptive to the joy. We become less receptive to um, the connection with spirit. We become less receptive to love and to the messages coming in from the universe, from the love that our twin may be sending us, um, and from our own soul path. We become less receptive of the messages. So allow the flow, because we've already been through, yeah, we've already been through really the most difficult phase of it, and that was really the initial phase of facing, the pain. We've been facing it for a while. Like we've been, you know, confronting the darkness within ourselves for a while. So it's nothing new. It's something that we've become we've adapted to facing the pain. And really, it's not that painful. You know what I'm saying? It's really not that painful to look at it. I mean, because in a sense, you have to know that other people are in pain. You know, so when you look at people, when you look at your situation and you say, okay, I felt rejected, or I felt abandoned, or I felt like I wasn't really shown the love that I deserve, or I wasn't really, the situation really wasn't fair. You have to really understand that people are hurting. I mean, and hurt people hurt people. So it's really not that difficult to look into your situation and allow forgiveness and allow yourself to elevate. The other message is in each situation, in each encounter with other people, in the silent encounters with yourself, I wrote some notes because I really wanted to make sure that I said everything that I wanted to say, that I needed to say. Small issues may present, and whether it's via, the errands that you run, whether it's, again, in the silent communication, whether it's communication with others, whether it's just an intuitive feeling, during this Mercury retrograde, allow those situations to be your elevation and your liberation. Meaning, in each instance, we have a choice. We have a decision to make, and most of us involuntarily make the decision to, go with the victim mentality of looking at the dark side of it. All right. So again, the issues may present themselves, through different sources, through different means, and use those incidents to elevate and liberate you, and make that your decision. Instead of looking at the situation, in a negative, I'm sorry. Instead of looking at the situation negatively, look at the situation in a way that you can elevate from it and liberate from it. So if the feeling of feeling unworthy presents itself, you can either go with that feeling of unworthy and go with the feeling of resistance and become less receptive to the love that is here for you, or you can alchemize that feeling into, a feeling of being worthy and reassuring yourself of your worth and elevating and feeling liberated from that situation, from transmuting the negative energy to positive. That's another message that Spirit is saying, is that this is really a time with the energies being, as they are, because last week they were very, very quick and very lighthearted at the crest, and the trough was really, really deep. But this week, it's kind of like we're in a spiral, but we're still moving forward. And Spirit is allowing us to feel each situation so that we can clear it, so that we can learn from it, so that we can move on. But we need to learn how the big test here, I feel, is taking the negative energy, taking that resistance and making it into turn it into reception, like turn it into positiveness, turn it into elevation, using the negativity to amplify it. But we're taking it from this side of the spectrum and bringing it all the way to the other side of the spectrum. So it's basically it's necessary for us to be present in order to do so. It's necessary for us to, be in touch with who we are, so that we may do so. So that when those feelings do come up, we have the knowledge, the understanding of who we are to speak positivity into the situation, instead of agreeing with what is not really true. The old pattern that we thought about ourselves. We're still coming into the new pattern. So don't panic. As far as I've been through all of this and I'm still having these feelings, we are still continuously coming through this. And we're going to continue to come through it until we utilize the formula to turn those negative thoughts into more progressive, positive thoughts for our elevation and liberation. It's just the thoughts that we are clearing. That old energy, the old energy patterns. It's the old energy patterns that are still, we're still attaching to. We have to replace the old with the new. So the new information that you receive, you utilize that information, the positive, progressive, the new paradigm that you receive, the new downloads, the new upgrades that you receive, you use those to replace the old. So whenever you have an old thought pattern, then you want to use the new thought patterns, the new paradigm, the new flex, and kind of override the old thought patterns. Okay, so make it your intention, because this is a lifelong journey. I watched a video last night that said, we're still in ascension. Let's make it clear. We are going to be in ascension forever. So, it's like, we're still ascending. We should be in a good. This is our life. We're constantly evolving. This is not going to change. It's not going to stop. I think that's very important, not to give people like a false sense of this is one day going to end, as far as like tomorrow or maybe like 2 weeks from now. Because it's like, we're going to get to that. I just want to stay on track. So decide today, right now, that have an intention of what is your intention for today. Whether it's, I set my intention to elevate from each situation. I set my intention to be present in each thought. I set my intention to, be liberated in and by each thought, by using positive reinforcement. You know, I set my intention today to feel uh, connected, more, deeply connected to God. I set my intention to um, to transmute my negative to positive. Um, So, what is it that you want to do today? What is it that you want to be present about today? What is your intention? And as you set your intention, as you set that in your mind, you know, you're gonna your your subconscious is going to continue to remind you. I mean, if we notice, subconscious is like a reminder. It's like, you know, memory bank. All right. So, um, for like another example, because I'm speaking of those things that come up internally, but really, you know, there are some things that are coming up, externally in our reality that are really stemming from deeper roots. For instance, I'm one that I love unity. I love group activities. As far as family activities, I feel like in a family setting that really shouldn't be, especially when everyone is adults, there really shouldn't be any okay, you should be in a child's place or whatever. And I don't feel like people should, I feel like the task in a home should be shared. Okay. I don't believe in, people leaving things behind just because it's not, just because it's your job, so to say, to clean the kitchen. I don't believe that people should walk away from the table without picking up their utensils, in their their plates and their cups. It aggravates me. And so I'm using this as an example because it irritates me, because I won't walk away from this table and leave anything on this table, because that's not how I was raised. And so it's not that I have a problem picking up behind people. It's my problem is, in some way, I've realized that in every exchange, energy is being exchanged. It's three things: either someone is taking from you, either you're giving, or the relationship is very well balanced to where, I'm giving, you're receiving, you're giving, I'm receiving. But I've realized in the setting that the balance of giving and receiving is completely out of whack. So in every situation that I find, I'm constantly giving of more than just my energy. Right? We're still on allowing elevation and liberation in each decision and in each situation. Okay. So when I have to, pick up other people's plates, and it may seem very small, but I'm trying to get you to understand that there's deeper meanings to everything. When I have to, just there's nothing no one else is doing in the house. So I'm taking care of, what I'm doing, I'm taking care of. What you're doing, I'm taking care of what you're doing. When it's just small tasks that if each person did, if each person took care of their stuff, then it really wouldn't be a problem. If you just picked your plate up and put it on the sink and I washed it, it's not a problem. But it's constantly the environment of me giving. It's a constant battle of power. So me picking up your plate is not a sign of, to them it's a sign of 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 power. It's a sign of submission. It's a sign of, you know, you're, we're here and you're here. It's a sign of authority. You know? And me cleaning up, the stuff that you leave behind, knowing that you can do it yourself, is a sign of authority. Me having to move your stuff out of the way and put it back to where it was is a sign of authority. It's always giving. It's giving. I'm giving, but I'm not receiving anything. So I could look at it like this, and it just irritates me because I'm not here to feed you in any way, shape, or form. If I'm feeding, it should be coming back to me. And I understand spirit won't allow the situation to get out of hand. And so I've been detaching myself from the situation. But if I don't do anything about it, there's going to be shit everywhere around here. So what I'm noticing and what spirit is basically trying to get us to say is to protect our energy and to become aware of how people are feeding off you and not giving anything in return, like the relationship is not reciprocal. So watch your energy and also watch how you're thinking about it, because I could easily just say, okay, I'm of service, but of service stops at a certain point. I feel like when people are not being, it's just not right. You can just feel it that it's not right. And so the way that I can elevate and be liberated by this is to dig within myself and to know that spirit won't allow me to be drained. Spirit, I can only live from my heart. But I can also be smart about it when I know that it's time for me to disengage. So basically, elevating from this would be like, it's time to have a talk with my family. We don't have to be resistant. We don't have to be resistant. If you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. If you feel like it goes against something within yourself, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you feel like you don't want to do it right then and there, then don't do it and come back to it when you're at a better space. But don't allow the situations to make you resistant to the love and the flow. I mean, that's very important. Again, protect yourself, but don't allow situations to make you angry or upset, or to keep you out of the flow of love. Because in actuality, it's all darkness. If something is not adding to you, if something is not giving you light, if something is not giving you, if there's no light or joy, it's darkness, trying to hinder your growth. But at the same time, we can also use it to push us forward. That's what I mean. Spirit is trying to let us know that we are alchemists. I mean, at a certain point in our journey, have the tools and the knowledge to take situations and turn them around. So that's really the most important message here, is that we are alchemists. And the more you become present, the more you become connected to God, the less you have with negative environments and negative people, the less you have with toxic uh, toxic situations and everything like that, the more powerful you become, the more aware you become, to where you realize your abilities. Um, so we can also utilize uh, these affirmations. It's a big part of our life. I mean, um, affirmations are positive suggestive programming. So if you are feeling a certain type of way, then speak what you desire to feel out. Speak it out of yourself. Because the key to it is knowing that you can't speak a vibration without feeling it. So if ever you're feeling a certain way, voice how it is that you desire to feel. Voice how it is. If you're feeling, if you're feeling down, then voice how it is that you desire to feel. You desire to feel joy. You desire to feel laughter. You can't feel laughter. Well, you can feel laughter. Do you desire to feel happiness? And voice that into and out into the universe. As I feel happy right now. You know, I feel so joyful right now. You know, I feel full, man. I'm just full of joy. I just can feel, just go outside and I can just feel the sun on my skin, man. I can feel the sun elevating me out of it. I'm very patient. Start speaking positivity in your life. Start speaking liberation into your life. Whenever you feel as I am, I feel this way. Not as I want to feel, but I feel this way. I am happy. I am, feeling better already. You know what I'm saying? So use the affirmations, whether online, whether you make them up yourself, to bring you to rise above, the level of wherever you're trying to rise above. And it could be that you feel mediocre and you really want to feel good. It could be that you feel good, but you really want to feel, freedom, like really liberated within yourself. You want to feel spirit more. It doesn't matter. Just utilize your affirmations, utilize your meditation, utilize your presence and your awareness, your mindfulness. Utilize you as an alchemist. And I feel like that's the message that Spirit is really wanting us to connect with, because that is the key. The key is we have control over the feelings, our thoughts. And it is our thoughts that are keeping us, that would keep us, that will keep us. Or it is our thoughts that will progress us, that will liberate us, that will free us, that will, it is the thought, and it is the feeling with the thought. I'm working on right now, Spirit has me working on really slowing down in my speech. Really becoming aware of what it is that I am pushing out, so that what I am pushing out is equipped with more power than more word. Because people can speak a lot of words and empty words, working. But Spirit is working more with me to be more direct with the choice words that I use. So if it seems that I'm taking my time, I am. Another message is time is ticking. When I sat here this morning at the table, I usually sit in the chair to my left, and I just felt like wanting to sit here. And as I sat down, I immediately became aware of the clock. And the message was, time is ticking. What I received from that message is, personally for me, if this is not about me, guys. Personally, you have to. When I said that, what did you feel when I said time is ticking? So another message that correlates with this time is ticking, that is this is for twins. Don't allow fear to keep you from reaching out to your twin. Don't allow your ego to get in the way of reaching out to your twin. Alright. Whether they receive you or not, I feel like it's a positive situation. No. Whether they receive you, positive. Whether they don't, positive. You've learned something. You've learned something. Either they want this or they don't. I feel like, it allows us to move forward with a notion of, okay, so this is, we don't have to worry about this anymore, or we're just going to move forward with it. So if you haven't reached out to your twin and you feel like you should. Until time is ticking. Guys, my breakfast is done. I wish you guys a great day. Many blessings to you, and much love.